This week in an op-ed, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy laid out their plans to target $500 billion in annual spending under their new Department of Government Efficiency. Voters elected Donald Trump with a mandate for sweeping change, they wrote, and they deserve to get it. But is this what voters asked for and what they're going to get necessarily? With us to discuss, we got Yahoo Finance's Rick Newman. Rick, thank you so much for coming in studio.
Hi, guys.
We appreciate it. You say the Efficiency Commission is already overreaching. Tell me why.
Okay, so when I read this op-ed and they said voters demanded sweeping change, and I thought, did they? Did voters demand sweeping change? And I've been looking at a lot of exit polls, and it seems pretty clear that voters said two things: bring prices down and get immigration under control. That's what they want. That is what they said were their top two issues by far. And when you look at the list of things that were the most important issue for voters, fixing the government, I mean, it's not in the top five. I mean, and the only way it really shows up is people think the budget, the national debt is too big, which it definitely is. People have a sense that the government is bloated, which it also certainly is. But beyond that, I mean, whether you reform the education department or the commerce department or whatever, is not going to lower the price of gas or bring the rent down or bring down the cost of milk and eggs. That's what people want. I feel like the idea that, people who occasionally pay attention to politics for a week or two during an election year, they're not sitting here saying reform the federal bureaucracy. At any rate, we're going to have this effort. There have been, the bureaucracy needs reformed. There have been many efforts to do it. Almost all of them fail. That's what I expect out of this, but it's a different approach at least.
If we do see some reform, I think to the degree obviously is very much debated, will that have any impact on voters?
I think it depends what happens. So first of all, what's familiar about this is they're targeting waste, fraud, and abuse. That's what always happens. I mean, again, there have been so many commissions like this. The Government Accountability Office, the GAO, has libraries filled with reports, how to get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse, WFA for short. We're going to be hearing a lot about it. The thing is, it's not like all concentrated in one giant part of the government. It's filtered in everywhere. So you have to be surgical and go in and say, we need to organize this agency, reorganize this way in such a way, different for some other agency. And these guys just sound like we're going to kill whole departments. They want to kill the education department. Good luck. I mean, maybe they will. But just to remind everybody, Congress is the decider on what taxpayer money gets spent on, and the government looks the way it does because Congress built it that way, and only Congress can dismantle it. Now we may see the Trump White House try to do end arounds. We're going to be talking about this thing called impoundment. I'm not going to bore anybody with that yet, but it's coming.
We look forward to that.
These are all the things we're going to be talking about.
Rick, what is the strategy then? Why is there being such a big deal made surrounding this, given the uncertainty, given the fact that a lot of this likely isn't going to happen, and given the fact that it's probably not really going to trickle down to the voter?
Trump did not really campaign on Department of Government Efficiency. Yeah. I mean, let's remember how this came up. I think he was having a chat with Musk on Twitter, and one of them, Trump said something like, hey, we could have maybe you would like to run the Government Efficiency Department. And Elon Musk was like, hey, we could call it Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE.
You sound more like
joke.
Trump. You gotta
it's a
work
joke,
on that.
It's a meme coin joke. Nobody gets it. So it just kind of came out of nowhere, and now, Trump is like, hey, you guys go for it. I'm not appointing you to a cabinet position. You're not going to have to get confirmed. Like, what's he have to lose? He thinks these two guys are smart. He's going to put them in charge of figuring out how to fix the government, and they're going to issue. We'll see.
We definitely will. Well, Rick, thank you so much as always.
Okay, guys.
It's always a joy. We appreciate you. Okay is right.